'Tis the season to be jolly and joyous. Fa la la, with a burst of pleasure, we feel it arrive. Fa la la.
With welcome to A Christmas Miracle. Now, last year we really wanted to do an episode about the Muppet Christmas Carol and say that it was the greatest Christmas movie of all time. Didn't have time to do it. We couldn't do it.
And we already brought you, and you're welcome, the greatest movie of all time, Muppet Treasure Island. Yeah. But we wanted to bring you the greatest Christmas movie of all time for this year.
From the minds behind the greatest movie of all time podcast episode, Muppet Treasure Island. 'Tis the season to be jolly and joyous.
With a burst of pleasure, we feel it arrive.
Doop-a-doop-a-doop-doop-doop.
It's a season when the saints can employ us.
Bop-a-lop-bop.
To spread the news about peace and to keep love alive.
That's right. We are talking about Muppet Christmas Carol, the greatest Christmas movie of all time. I stand behind that 100%. Zach, hit me with a Christmas movie you think that other people might think is the best one, and I'll tell you why that's a Bah-Humbug.
Oh, a humbug, huh?
A Bah-Humbug.
A Bah-Humbug. That's even more, that's more extreme.
Double bum hugged.
So, I will have to ask you about Die Hard.
Great selection. Die Hard. Okay. People say, Die Hard, it's a Christmas movie, ha ha ha. Like, everybody just thinks, First of all, quit being corny. Yeah, we know what happened at Christmas.
It's not a Christmas movie.
The thing is, it's an action movie. I can even enjoy it as a Christmas movie, but I didn't learn anything from it. I didn't get like a message of joy.
You got this drunk cop.
He's like
running through.
He's like a New York Transit cop too, like the most notoriously like asshole cops.
Yeah, and he like just is running through the air vents and whatnot, and like it's a movie. It's the same as Love Actually. They are movies that happen to take place during Christmas. But Die Hard's an action movie that takes place during Christmas. Love Actually is a rom-com that takes place during Christmas. They're not Christmas movies.
I love that you brought up Love Actually. Now here's my Bah-Humbug about Love Actually. You got a movie. You cast Liam Neeson in it.
And Jack Black.
And there's not a single revenge killing. Not a single one of his kids gets kidnapped.
Nobody
gets taken. I mean, he's not Darkman, so Bah-Humbug.
Bah-Humbug, 100%.
All right, Zach, I'm gonna hit you with one. What's that one with my friend Harry. It's a Wonderful Life.
When
Jimmy Stewart.
This is one of the darkest movies, and it's actually a take on Christmas Carol because dude goes to jump off of a bridge, and then Angel saves him and walks in. He basically has the same experience as Scrooge.
So I would say Bah-Humbug.
Yeah, Bah-Humbug.
A Wonderful Life literally just ripped off Muppet Christmas Carol.
Well, it ripped off Christmas Carol, but let's we can dive deeper into that. But let's finish addressing some movies, because there are other Christmas movies like Home Alone.
Okay, Bah-Humbug.
Bah-Humbug.
And I'll tell you why. Okay, look, I know you like it, but it's it's less rewatchable. In fact, I don't feel like I ever need to watch it again.
I agree with that, because I would say he's just a little asshole that didn't get his way, and he literally, one of the lines in that movie is, "I made my family disappear," and he was happy about it.
Yeah,
and it's that's the least Christmas. That does not tell me the spirit of Christmas. And what I get out of Muppet Christmas Carol is that it's a redemption story.
Yes, it's a redemption song, just like Bob Marley wanted it to be.
Yeah,
redemption song. These songs of freedom and Bah-Humbug.
I don't know if that song's appropriate for Christmas, but it's appropriate all the time.
Redemption song's appropriate for any occasion, any moment of any day.
It's just being a good person.
So is Three Little Birds. But let me like Bah-Humbug, Home Alone a couple more times.
Let me cut you off right there.
Sir.
Let's define humbug.
Humbug means bullshit.
I believe that is 100% true.
Okay, well,
But
are you looking it up?
yeah. And
Okay, while you look it up, can I Bah-Humbug on Home Alone just one more time?
do it one more time.
Okay, I'm gonna Bah-Humbug it on one more time by saying the best thing that happens in Home Alone is that they make a second movie and they created the Talk Boy, which was a really cool toy. But the best line in the movie is when what's his name? Home Alone Boy. When Home Alone Boy goes up to Donald Trump and he goes, "Hey, do you know where I can take a shit in this hotel?" And Donald Trump goes, "Of course he knows where you can take a shit." And he's like, "Oh yeah, you can take a shit right over there." And that's basically the best thing that happens in the entire movie franchise.
I want to get away from Donald Trump because
Me too.
I don't like.
He does not make me feel Christmassy at all.
I don't feel warm and fuzzy when I'm thinking of him, which I think Christmas is all about, good tidings. It's literally in most of the songs, glad tidings for Christmas.
Good cheer.
And good cheer and good feelings.
So what's a humbug, bro?
So it is essentially in our state, it's bullshit. It's the definitions is written deceptive or false talk or behavior. So
bullshit.
So it's bullshit.
Okay, I'm reluctant to bring up any more Christmas movies because I feel like we have just humbugged on some of the most beloved films of all time. And if anyone is still listening and we want them to keep on, we maybe should watch out before we touch on anything that maybe Will Ferrell has done or that Dr. Seuss wrote.
Well, I mean, okay, if we're gonna talk about those, then you know what? Those are both Elf and The Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas are actually really heartwarming films because they're the same kind of aspect of Scrooge becoming a real person. The Grinch, his heart grows 3 sizes.
Holy shit, the Grinch is a Scrooge.
Yeah, and Elf is all about love and everything, but he has to convince his father.
Sonny from Godfather.
Yeah. And so he has to convince him to be not such a dick.
Michael Caan, right?
James
Caan.
Yeah. Elf is James Caan, and then it's super close to where we were talking about to go full circle.
I've been told
Michael Caine.
I've been told that I look like a young James Caan, where I was like, cool, because he actually looked pretty good when he was young. But then I looked at old James Caan, and I'm like, I'm not sure that's really where I want to head. But hey, man, time marches on.
Well, you're beautiful either way, so.
And that's what brings us to the plot of because time marches on. Get it?
Yeah.
All right. So look, because there's a ghost of present, a ghost of past, and a ghost of
past, present, future. Get it?
Wow, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
In one movie. Look, we could sit here all day and just tell you that we think Muppet Christmas Carol is the best Christmas movie of all time, but with every movie review, we always we score it on a scale of 1 to 5 with a few different categories. And with this one, we're doing plot, acting, and, of course, X Factor.
'Tis the season to be jolly and joyous. With a burst of pleasure, we feel it arrive.
Let's start with plot.
So the most important part about the plot is it's all about the setup. Like, the movie starts with a very dark, ominous feeling of the Ebenezer Scrooge being the darkest person in the neighborhood. Like,
he's cold. When he walks around the neighborhood, everyone
cold wind told it.
Yeah.
Cold wind blows, it chills you to the bone.
Chills to the bone. Yeah.
And so, I want to touch on this. Like, the musical score is fantastic. You cannot get away from how good the music is. And we also, what we like to do on every one of these podcasts is we like to learn. And we like to...
I love to learn.
We love to learn. We want to put our thinking caps on. And the first move is Gonzo is depicting Charles Dickens. And Rizzo the rat is like, hey, he's a 19th century novelist. And Gonzo says, thank you. but he's playing that role. But yeah, so we already learned something right there.
We did learn something that Charles Dickens wasn't like an old writer, and like if you were a kid, you might not know that.
Yeah, well, and especially in our day and age, like it really opens up. This movie, by the way, was filmed in 1992, so it's really like towards our generation,
the millennials. But I will say this. So just before we go too much further, there's two things we have to get out of the way. One, we're both gonna have to share our favorite jokes from the movie because we're gonna start doing that in the middle of the plot later. So we'll just knock that out.
Go ahead and do that.
And then also, I just want to say, like you said, it was made in 1992, which means the special effects are kind of like a little bit dated. But this movie is so trippy, like especially with like all of the spirits of the that visit Scrooge. It's like it almost like the fact that it's like not modern quality effects makes it actually a little more frightening, I think. Our favorite jokes from the movie, because it is a comedy / drama / musical. My favorite joke from the film is when Rizzo the Rat and Gonzo are riding in a carriage and Rizzo is eating a baguette. And he goes, "Hey, would you like some bread?" And Gonzo goes, "Bread? Not while I'm working."
Yeah, like wait, like one of my favorite jokes right off the rip was when they're introducing Scrooge coming down the alleyway, and Gonzo, this is another educational point. See, so we learned something about economics at this point where they're selling apples, right? They have Gala apples, they have McIntosh, they have like actually tell you different kinds of apples that they have. And then Gonzo's like, "Hey, Rizzo, quit eating the apples." And he's like, "What? I'm providing scarcity or creating scarcity."
Yeah.
And it's like that's an economic factor. So that's another educational point.
Yeah.
So we've already learned what humbug meant.
You know what? One thing I learned that I feel like is like a little bit like a warm Christmas feeling is when I watch Rizzo and Gonzo interact. Their interactions I feel like really do reflect ours in many ways.
I feel like you be Gonzo and I'm Rizzo.
I want to be Gonzo. You be Rizzo.
You totally Gonzo. And one of my favorite points, okay, another random moment in the movie is when Rizzo and Gonzo climb up the gate to jump over the fence. And then Rizzo jumps and he says, There are only two things I hate in life. One is heights, and the other one is jumping from them." And then he jumps down, and Gonzo does not catch him. And then he runs under the gate, grabs his jelly beans that he forgot on the other side of the gate, runs back through, and Gonzo is just like, "You could have fit through those bars the whole time." And Rizzo's like, "Yeah." And then he kisses him on the nose. He's just like,
Yeah. That does seem like a behavior that you would exhibit.
Like, sorry.
And I also, I exhibit the whole, like, not entirely in touch with the reality that I, should be in. So, all right, here we go with plot. Ebenezer Scrooge, one mean dickhead. He goes to work. He's got a bunch of rats doing all his books.
Marley and Marley.
I have Marley. Ooh. Doug and Zach. Ooh. All right, dude, we're off track. All right, we meet Bob Cratchit. It's Kermit the Frog. He's a good guy. Man, he's the best guy. He's a nice guy.
He's the nicest of the nice.
So anyways, Scrooge is at work. He acts like a dickhead. He treats his nephew like shit, who's like his only living relative. That's the only one of the only other humans in the movie. He leaves. He goes home. He's immediately frightened by his door knocker that turns into one of the hecklers from the balcony, but is also in this film his old partner Marley, which you would bring up.
So
there's two. They changed the dynamic.
For the purpose of the movie, they made it Marley and Marley, which are the two classic hecklers in the balcony.
We're Marley and Marley.
I can't remember their names right now, but they have turned. But in the classic story, it is just one person is Marley.
And bringing it back to Scrooge gets home. This guy is rich as fuck, and he wears like a little like nightgown and a little nightcap, and
Tattered ass hat.
Yeah, and he sits down to eat his dinner, which is looks like probably maybe one of the just most
It looks like stale bread.
Yeah, stale ass baguette with a stale ass hunk of cheese. And I was like, and that's what I said. I was like, what the fuck is the point of being rich? I think that they really are trying to make that the point.
Well, it's just like how much
being
it's like an exercise in futility. Like how successful are you if you're that lonely and sad? Like, yeah, you have all the money in the world, but you are miserable. So like, what the fuck's the point? And some of the best times I've had is when I've been broke and homeless on the streets and. I was homeless intentionally because I was 20 something years old and
you're doing fun.
Just having fun. But like this guy has all the money in the world,
never having fun,
and he's just miserable. He's
not,
yelling at everybody all the time.
Not even eating like a good piece of bread. Actually, take note, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and all you billionaires that hide in the shadows. I got my eye on you fucking bastards.
What might I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to remain anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. I do not make merry myself at Christmas.
So, Marley and Marley show up, and they sing, of course, Marley and Marley, woo! And they tell Scrooge about how they are,
how he's gonna end up like them.
Yeah, well, they're covered in irons and chains.
Yeah.
They live in hell where they're tortured. It's very fucking ominous. And he's like, "Oh no, I ate a bad piece of beef. That wasn't real." And then the spirit of Christmas past shows up, which is also a very
bell tolls one,
an extraordinarily haunting character because it's a child that's been alive for 1,900 years, who drags him back to his schoolyard days as a schoolboy, where he witnesses himself growing up, and where Arrow the Eagle teaches him all about business. And then when he falls in love, and Zach, go ahead, air your grievance.
Okay, so Ebenezer Scrooge gets thrown back in time by this child ghost who shows him his past, and he grows up, and Sam the Eagle is all about his mentor, and then he goes to Fuzzywigs Rubber Chicken Factory is his first job.
No, Fozzie
Wigs Rubber Chicken Factory, which I think is hilarious. But he meets Belle, and then so Disney Plus decided to cut out the most significant song of this movie, and it's like, when love is gone.
When love is gone. Oh, can I add a little caveat to what you've just said?
Yeah.
So you're the one that brought that to my attention, that song was cut by Disney.
Yeah.
But do you know that the final song in the movie is When Love is Found? So so there's a reprise. So they literally actually cut out
There's a lot of context.
Yeah, there's a lot of context gets lost. So Bah-Humbug, Disney Plus.
Bah-Humbug on that.
I Bah-Humbug on you. I Bah-Humbug on you.
Well, and the weirdest thing about it too is this movie was originally produced by Disney. This movie was originally produced by Disney. So the fact that they cut that song out is just kind of silly. But you know what? I looked it up, Doug, and the reason why they cut it out is because it was too mature and sad for children.
Dude, this movie has a Muppet who is a horrifying reimagining of the Grim Reaper. You know how you hey Chat GPT, make a Grim Reaper but mix it with something grosser and weirder.
Okay, well that's coming because
we gotta
get through.
All right, so the Ghost of Christmas Present brings Ebenezer Scrooge to Bob Cratchit's house, where he says, "What a meager feast," and then he looks at Tiny Tim, who goes, "God bless us all," and he goes, "What a remarkable child. Please, spirit, tell me he's going to live." And of course the spirit's like, "I don't know, because I only live in the present. I don't fucking know, but I totally see a chair with a crutch and a little hat.
A crutch without an owner."
Yeah.
But also that's the 'tis the season to be jolly and
joyous. Ba-da-da-da.
'Tis the season to be jolly and joyous.
burst of pleasure, we feel it arrive.
So like this little dude that is crippled and like needs a crutch, and he just is the happiest guy. And what did we touch on about like to the founder of the feast? Like Kermit is such a humble dude. Or like Bob Cratchit, Kermit's character, is such a humble dude that is like to the founder of the feast. And I do want to touch on how it's funny that the boys are frogs and the girls are pigs in the family, but it's also just really funny that the kid is just like the happiest person, and then Miss Piggy or Miss Cratchit, I guess, in this case, is just like, hope he has a merry jolly day, no doubt. And then the girls are she goes, no doubt.
She goes, Mr. Scrooge is a piece of shit and he dresses badly.
Yeah, oh yeah. I love how she attacks his attire.
Yeah, well, he does dress pretty poorly.
Yeah.
Later in the film, Benson and
bitch.
Beaker, spoiler alert, Benson and Beaker give him a red scarf to like add a little flair to his attire. So anyway, moving into more of the present, he goes to his nephew's house where they're playing an awesome game called Yes and No. And everyone's trying to guess yes and no. What is the thing he's trying to talk about? And he's like, oh, it's like a unwanted thing. It's not a cockroach. It's not herpes. You don't want it. It sucks, but it does exist.
It's not welcome.
It's not welcome. And then the wife goes, it's not a cockroach. It's not herpes. It's Ebenezer Scrooge. And then everyone's like, ah, and they just laugh hilarious.
I think it's
jolly moment. Sadly, the Ghost of Christmas Present ages very quickly. He's only alive for one day, and he has had 1,900 brothers who've all lived for one day. And he disappears, and the most terrifying Muppet ever built, or I don't know how do you call it?
Ever
Designed,
created. He shows up. It's death, or it's like the Grim Reaper on crack.
It's like the Grim Reaper, but he does more than that.
Yeah,
and he shows them the future of Kermit the Frog walking home. Like, 'cause this is so dark, because Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy have a terminally ill child in this film. It's kind of a departure from a lot of Muppet stuff. And anyway, then he shows Ebenezer Scrooge his own grave. Ebenezer Scrooge grabs him by the robe and says, please, spirit, please, don't let this be true. Blah, 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 blah. Cries. Wakes up in his own bed. Reborn, a new man. Suddenly, this guy is fucking awesome. He goes out the window. He goes, hey, you there, little rabbit. He actually was a dickhead to this rabbit early in the movie. He goes, hey, little rabbit, here's 5 shillings. Go buy the biggest goose in the fucking goose store. I'm taking it to Bob Cratchit's house. He goes outside. They start singing a song. You know, it's like, he's just like, you know, what's the song? No, this is the other song. This is the one like, with a grateful prayer and a joyful heart.
Yes, and every night will end, and every day will start with a grateful prayer and a thankful heart.
And everyone will be my niece and nephews. I don't know. It goes.
Yeah, no, it's Thankful Heart. Yeah.
So Thankful Heart goes to Bob Cratchit's house, hooks him up with the turkey, throws the biggest fucking party, and they say Ebenezer Scrooge, or Gonzo, as narrator, an omniscient, godlike character in this, says, and Scrooge was true to his word, and fucking, so...
Well, he basically, so the whole point, I think that we're trying to get to is that this movie is the true example of what it means to have a Christmas experience. Like, we need to learn to be thankful and be joyful and be together in a nice, positive way, and, you know, not be a dick.
I could not have put it better myself. All right, let's jump to acting. This is going to be like a short and easy one because Michael Caine, one of the best performances. Actually, no, I rephrase that. This is the best performance by Michael Caine I believe I've ever seen. Michael Caine is quoted as telling Brian Henson, the director of this film, when I'm on set, I will be acting as though I am in the British Royal Theatre working with Shakespearean actors, and I will not acknowledge that I'm around puppets.
Well, and I think he did a really good job of that because I feel like his performance brought out and distracted you from the fact that you're watching puppets. Like, I felt like those characters were real. Like, even though I know that they're Muppets in the back of my mind, but while I'm watching it, it gives me that heartwarming feeling that these characters are alive.
Yeah.
And they really, really speak to me. And that's why I've been watching this movie every year. It's a Christmas tradition that like I love these characters and it gives me a warm fuzzy feeling.
Yeah. I would say also, all right, Kermit brings a great performance. Gonzo and Rizzo, as always. If I had to say one Muppet that I thought Miss Piggy actually did not really fully like in Muppet Treasure Island, she's on fire.
Yeah.
And this one she's like a little bit I don't know, maybe I don't know if the word dour is the word, but I feel like
that's her role though.
Yeah, I guess it didn't feel quite as Miss Piggy to me, but of course, Miss Piggy doesn't generally have a terminally ill child in a lot of the films she's in, and also the guy that plays the human that's in it, he was in Underworld: Rise of the Lycans. You should
Really?
Yeah, dude, I looked him up. I was like, who's this guy? I didn't recognize him.
Which one?
He's the one that keeps the records of all the vampires, and like the main vampire got mad at him.
Which character is he in Muppet?
He's the nephew.
Oh, he's the nephew? Oh, wow.
He gives him. He's like, oh, come on, quit saying Bah-Humbug, you fucking dickhead. All right, X Factor. Let's rock it out. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I mean, the X Factor is legit. Like, this movie is gonna make you feel things. Like, if you haven't seen it before, then you're missing out. And just overall, like, I'm not a big Christmas guy, or I didn't used to be, but this is one family favorite that I always share with my family, to be redundant. But it just really makes me feel good about life, and like it's not faith based. Which I know some people, myself included, are hesitant towards. But
yeah, no, dude, you could be like Wiccan and watch this, and like it's totally fine.
And it's and to get to it is like paganism is a big part of this like substance. Anyway, it doesn't judge you, like, but you watch this movie, and this is why it's the best Christmas movie of all time. It is actually based off of the whole point of being nice and kind at this time of year when it's cold and shitty, and let's be kind to each other and like move forward and get through the shitty winter.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say, okay, coming in on X Factor. This film applies to my personal values basically in every single way. I think that all of the mean old rich dickheads should be visited by ghosts. Those ghosts should terrify them, teach them, make them better people. That's like one of the main things. So X Factor for me is I think that what happens in this movie should happen all the time in real life.
I think Donald Trump and Jeff Bezos need to watch this movie on a daily basis and kind of get their shit together, because with a thankful fart,
with a thankful
heart,
with a grateful prayer and a thankful heart.
Yeah, not a thankful fart.
All right, let's score this. Plot, man, on a score from 1 to 5 stars, where would you put the plot?
I mean, the plot, you can't go wrong with the 19th century novelist Charles Dickens without giving it a 5-star.
I want to just use the word Dickensian just because it makes me sound smart.
Oh.
I would say this Dickensian film gets 5 stars. All right.
That, you know what? That made you sound really smart, and I'm impressed.
You could say it too. Say you like it. Say you like it because it's Dickensian.
I like it because it's Dickensian.
Yeah, dude. Now they both think they'll all think we're smart.
Now we both sound smart.
Okay,
cool.
All right. Acting.
I mean, Michael Caine we already addressed was like the fucking tits.
He brought it. You said that, that's weird. You would say that phrase. I always found that one to be. I don't like that one.
Oh, well,
you know who says that? Sean Penn.
Oh,
He goes, that's the tits. He's like the
Well,
war.
that's
The war in Ukraine is the
20s.
tits.
That's an old 20s phrase.
I didn't know that. It's from the 20s.
Yeah.
Oh well, I do like the bootlegger era. I feel like you and I would have been fucking kings in that era, dude.
Oh, dude, hard.
All right. Well, anyway, acting 5 stars for me.
100.
All right, X Factor.
All right, X Factor is definitely still 5.
X Factor is 5 stars. I will say this though, out of the X-Men comic books, the ones a lot of the shoot-offs, X-Men is a 5-star comic book. Excalibur is a 5-star comic book. X Factor actually for me is like maybe a 4.
Really?
That's the one with Cable. A lot of people won't get
what?
that reference, but who fucking cares?
Well, I think with all the things that come along with this movie and the X Factor of just the creepiness and the hard lesson of being a good person is the 5-star X Factor for me.
All right, well, you guys, you heard it here first. It's the best Christmas movie of all time. I think we proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt. So all I have to say to you is goodbye with a grateful prayer and a thankful heart.
Open smile with open doors. I'll bid you welcome. What is mine is yours. With a glass raised to toast your health.
Glass raised to toast your health.
And a promise to share the wealth.
And a promise to share the wealth.
I will sail a friendly course. File a friendly chart of a sea of love and a thankful heart.
And there ain't nothing I love more than a call and response song. So X Factor times 2.
Boom.
Merry Christmas.